Guys, today I want to talk about more stuff that that comes up on the news and stuff. But yeah, apparently we have this article here from World Crunch. Spider-Man punches for real. Scientists are close to cracking the code for getting rid of aging. Of course, aging is basically getting old. Okay, that's basically aging. Okay, and apparently very soon we're going to be having a total youth. Yep, a total youth, which means people who are in earlier millennials to Gen Z could have the possibility to live as long as they want. Not really if they get in an accident or there are still other ways it could die that are not by AIDS related. For example, murder and stuff, and that stuff. And accidents, car crashes is another one. Yeah, Barbara Strange loved her dog, and basically they cloned the dog for $50,000 just before she died at the age of 14, as well. This may sound a joke, but this is a deeply disturbing fact. Professor David J. Quayle why we age and why we don't have to. Is growing a old dog has led to two young puppies. This proves that DNA as well as that family takes everything it takes to restore lost youth. This could be used to properly reverse aging without having to go through the problematic stage of cloning. The idea identifies as identifying a reset button in the organism, and aging specialists have some piece of good news found. The button has been found. The name Japanese sector filler title, the Yamanaka factors, but Shinya Yamanaka is not a fictional character. He is a scientist specialized in stem cell research who received the 2012 Nobel Prize in Medicine. If this sounds too science fictional, you should know the biotech company Altos Labs was founded this year. A $1 billion by Yuri Miner and Jeff Bezos. Not bad for a startup, but it is a startup for very promising technology, cellular reprogramming, which is nothing more than a name given by biologists but the famous reset button. In 2007, Yamanaka announced to the scientific community that he had discovered a combination of four genes, OCT4, KIRF4, SOX4, and CMYC. When injected to a cell, it uses to go from a differentiated cell to a stem cell, i.e. one to redevelop into any cell type. Which means most of the factors of aging, which of course has to do with our cells, wearing down over time because of AIDS. Well, apparently we won't have to deal with that anymore very soon because you can have cellular reprogramming and you can basically be young forever. Kind of like a Saiyan. Basically, actually, I think even Saiyans get old at the age of 80. But yeah. And of course, in France, as much as I don't like the country, it didn't take for the colleagues to make an amazing discovery. France researcher Jean-Marc Lemaitre, who worked at the Institute of Functional Genetics at the University of Montpellier, was the first to experimentally prove on human issues that cellular aging was a reversible process. He and his team succeeded in transferring aging to senescent human skin cells to young skin cells. This process has been since proved as long as necessary to go through the stage of proliferative cells, which degenerates cancerous cells, to reverse cellular aging. Interrupting the process before reaching the stage is enough to start a series of gene reactions that counter cellular aging. But that's not all. Biologists from both sides of the Atlantic shown what is possible in an organism. In the case, they often use mice and guinea pigs. At the end of 2016, published by the Cell magazine, Professor at Salk Institute's John Carlos revealed the promising results of genetically modified rodents. The rodent genome has been enriched with the Yamanaka factors as well as a piece of genetic code, corresponding to some sort of on and off switch. Controlling the activator for genes, the prompter itself was only activated by a mouse and censored by antibiotic. This chemical, to be precise. By describing the molecule, 2 days in a week throughout. The life of the mice increased the lifespan by 40%. So that means, for example, if you live around 40% longer, for example, let's just say you are 70. Okay. And let me go. So if you live 40% longer, good. I even need a calculator for this. A percentage calculator. Okay, so this is the. So you'll be within 100 with this here. So that's basically the equivalent, around 100, around 40%. 18 is no longer an undirectional process as we thought. We can slow it down and even reverse it here now, scientifically. In a very similar experiment, Jean-Marc Lombardy has a more modest awakening of 15%, which is around 80, another 10 years, basically. But thanks to a different single dose of doxycycline, and above all, insisted that France's extra lifespan proved to free of all AIDS-related diseases as well. The genetic modification of mice is a common practice in labs, but so we do the same with humans to get the same result. There was a public outcry when, gave birth to twins with Tampa demos, the first genetically modified children in history, and the objective of giving them resistance to HIV. Now, if you GMO babies could change over the next decade, but whether it changes or not, we can go that far cellular reprogramming in humans. A simple vaccine will do the trick. So yeah, basically, in the future, there may be vaccines that make you younger. Which, yeah, COVID-19 pandemic has made the public aware that vaccine or RNA and DNA could be used as effective into genetic material into the body. BioNTech and Moderna's messenger RNA vaccines do this, but there are other viral vectors exist. This is adeno-associated viruses, a small non-pathogenic DNA viruses most commonly used in the molecular body to carry one or more genes of interest. On paper, there's nothing to prevent these genes of interest from being highlighted by Yamanaka. This could be what our near future look like. Around the age of 30, we are LS, only temporarily, at the peak of our mental and physical fitness. But we receive one more injections carrying these into us. Nothing will change our bodies yet. So we continue to age normally, but the passage of years will no longer be irreparable. Which means people will be definitely living a lot longer. Okay? People will not be... For example, I think anybody would be happy that in the later years, they'll be just as healthy as they are in the 20s, 30s, and early 40s. Or someone that's really, really healthy will be fit, or even the early 50s. These. So, basically, it's a possibility. It becomes how it especially becomes widespread. But also large parts of societies, it will be not reform for both tricky progress or resource for their products. But who among us will, once we reach a certain age, wouldn't we dream of regaining our lost youth and retaining the benefits of experience? I think this would also solve another problem called the demographic crisis. Because a lot of people are getting too old and can't work anymore, there aren't enough young people in many countries. This will solve the need for migrants from other countries to come to basically replace the lost people, because people don't want to have kids, because you don't need people to come in if there's no if everybody had a young body, basically. Of course, not everybody is going to accept this. Given that a lot of people are skeptical of the COVID vaccine, there are going to be a lot of people who are going to refuse to take these treatments and give their reasons why. It's the same thing with every revolutionary technology. 5G, people are scared that 5G will kill you. People think that birds are not real. There are flat earthers. And of course, there are people who are against the COVID vaccine and will even take the first 2 doses of the COVID vaccine. I can understand if people are skeptical of the boosters, but there are people who still haven't taken the first 2 COVID vaccines in America, which is pretty ridiculous. And America is actually behind because a lot of people refuse to take COVID vaccines, even the first 2 ones. Okay? But yeah, that's basically what this video. Goodbye.